All right, welcome back to the Blue Bleachers. Again, Ben and Caleb here with you.
What's up? What's up?
So, we're going to just shift the focus now to what's going on off the field. And we're going to look at an article that Dimitri Chin wrote about how, some of the Panthers here on campus are just what they do with social media. As you know, social media, as I got to tell you, people use it for their everyday lives, and athletes are no exceptions. And Dimitri actually talked to a few of the players on the basketball team about just how social media affects them, how they use it in their everyday lives, and that kind of got me thinking. A lot of athletes have been able to use social media, for a lot of good benefits.
Yes.
As a way to show their talent, as a way to engage with fans,
Mm-hmm.
and even as a way to kind of use their influence to
brand themselves.
not only brand themselves, but also
Mm-hmm.
help their communities and help
Very
just
true.
help the public too.
Mm-hmm.
So now I noticed that some of the folks on there, you talk about using it for inspiration, you talk about using it for just also as a way to just connect with people.
Yes.
And I just kind of jotted down some things there. You talk about some pros and cons with social media. Now I'll ask you, Caleb. So
Mm-hmm.
what do you think? What are some of the benefits that you can see that athletes have been able to find from social media? Or also what's some of the impact?
First of all, who do I follow on Instagram? Antonio Brown, him of course, and it's probably so many more athletes, and I can't even think of them. But Calvin Johnson, yes. So just knowing that you can contact these people, and that 9 times out of 10 they just might contact you back. Seeing them working out at 5 in the morning, that inspires you, because you're like basically telling yourself that I have no excuses because of Calvin Johnson. If he's running on the treadmill at 5 in the morning and he just got done with a 16-game regular season and body's banged up, but he still wants to be the best receiver in the league, or seeing Antonio Brown coming to kids' parties and stuff that follow him on Instagram, that support him on Twitter. So that gives you that first-hand experience, encounter with the athlete and also with the fan as well, because 15, 20 years ago, you didn't have that. You can only find them at practice, or if you just caught somebody there and you can just get an autograph. Here you can constantly stay in contact. Make-A-Wish Foundation, just seeing how they use social media as their platform to connect athletes with children who are sick, and they can talk through Instagram. So social media, it can be used in a very, very good way. So I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I like it too. I mean, that also just the way that a lot of athletes have been, just been able to engage with their fans, with the public.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you talk about, I actually saw how, there was, one game, now this is about 6-7 years ago, back when he was still Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson actually got a tweet from a fan who was actually, it was like the day before a game against the Browns, and he just came back from his friend's funeral, so he's grieving the loss of his friend, and he was trying to reach out to, to Chad Ochocinco, just asking, just kind of asked for a shout back, and he was like, hey, we're fans of you, my friend, he was a big fan of you, we actually buried him one of your jerseys, and then Chad Johnson actually replied back to him, said that he was going to dedicate the game tomorrow to him.
That's awesome,
he was going to dedicate to his memory. So it's just, there's stuff like that. But also, you talk about how many athletes have also become a lot more socially active, have, taken stands.
Yeah.
And yeah, Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, that's a big one. I forgot about
actually,
him.
because I know in one of your episodes showing with Caleb, you talked about, Colin Kaepernick, about, what he was doing with...
He's my guy, man.
Yeah, just a lot of what he's been doing in his efforts to raise awareness when it comes to just dealing with authority, plus police brutality.
Yeah.
And of course, he had his Know Your Rights campaign. Exactly. Which, and actually, when I checked, he's constantly.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Yeah.
Because he's constantly just communicating, sending updates, just promoting his campaign, Know Your Rights, and then of course, with this being Black History Month, he. Also was really promoting Know Your History, the importance of Black history. Yes. Which I know you actually touched on with Chilo and Caleb, which you can see and hear on our YouTube channel.
Promo from Ben, appreciate it.
On our YouTube channel as well as our SoundCloud page.
Yeah,
quick
most
plug
definitely.
there.
Thank you.
But that's the thing. Now there are. You do have your cons and everything. Yeah. But I think you do have a lot of pros to social media. So now
it's huge, man.
I guess one thing I am curious about is because how especially not as much in the NFL, but especially in like in college. You know how there's actually there are actually like programs where coaches like they don't allow any form of social media, they don't allow Twitter, they don't allow anything like that.
Yeah, those same coaches have a Twitter account. NCAA, come on.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, it's the fact that it's just like out of, and that's the thing. You always hear about how you have coaches who now are like monitoring, some of their players' social media or some of the recruits' social media. Yeah, someone just said you can't do.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't do. You can't have any social media. Yeah, I think it was Brett Bielema at Arkansas. He actually has like a team that like monitors social media recruits they're thinking about bringing in. And even like I think it was last year, who was it, Larry Nance Jr. I think got drafted by the Lakers.
Yeah,
and then,
he's a beast.
Of course, remember there was that story about that tweet that came out. Now it was 4 years ago where he had that tweet about Kobe Bryant.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was pretty funny.
yeah, but then the thing is that there was like this kind of firestorm for that. Now, thanks for the Lakers, they were like, look, it was years ago.
And I don't know, man. It's just. Social media, it can be very dangerous, but at the same time, it can be very beneficial as well. And with a football team, I kind of understand that because that's a lot of guys. You can have a whole lot of knuckleheads on a football team. And basketball as well. So I guess I can say that it should be monitored, but you shouldn't strip them away from having a social media account because like what you just alluded to earlier, Colin Kaepernick. And through his Instagram, he was like donating Nike apparel, book bags, books, all that stuff. So I'm just like, you can have so many good things that come out of that. Deshaun Watson, he was doing things through social media. So social media, it can be very, very beneficial. It can inspire people. But yes, in college, it should be monitored, but it should not be stripped away because those same coaches, I promise you, have social media accounts and they're very active on them. So the players should have just as much power as the coaches as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think that's the other thing. I mean, I understand that there are, sometimes some extreme examples of what can happen when, people go, I guess, too far on a platform such as Twitter. But I don't think you're going to get that from most players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And the thing is that I think most players have a good enough sense to, realize, okay, what is a good and not good idea. And of course, like going back to the to what Herm Edwards said years ago. Sometimes you just gotta think about it, and sometimes just don't press send.
Very true.
And so I think it just comes down to judgment at the end of the day. I mean, because even like the folks who have gotten in trouble on Twitter, and it turns out to be as free speech as you, I can understand that, but I think a lot of times that's also just bad judgment. That's just bad judgment, or I don't want to say a lack of maturity, so I just say bad judgment.
Yeah, and you can't strip someone of making mistakes because if you try to like baby them too much, then once they finally make it to the league, they're gonna be social media crazy. Like they'll be posting everything because I'm finally free. So I know this might sound absurd, but there should be Twitter classes. There should be social media classes to teach these players how to apply it, how to use it, not just how to use it, but also how to utilize it as well. So that can help out a lot. So there should be classes on that.
Yeah, there are actually schools. I think I'm not sure if they still do it, but I'm not sure they still do it. But I know, because I think bringing up Georgia Tech again, I think they actually do. They actually had a course on like media etiquette about how to handle media.
Yeah, and you should. You should.
Well, and that's the thing. It's just like, cause, I mean, just knowing, being in the media, you know how some media members can be.
Yeah.
And you know what someone just can look for that story.
Yeah, try to like twist someone's words and say breaking news, so and so he just said
but,
this.
I mean, I will be honest though. I will say though, it does seem like these days a lot more athletes, now that they do have, a way where they can or they can have a platform where they can control themselves and kind of get out the message that they want to. They don't have to rely on like a second or third party entity such as they don't need a middleman such as a media outlet. So I think that it has brought a lot of positive where athletes can actually do more with the platform they get.
I feel like this generation right now is actually the perfect generation to have social media because imagine if Deion Sanders had a social media account when he was at Florida State, or imagine if Michael Irvin at the U and that whole squad had a Twitter, or Terrell Owens if he had an Instagram. Like it would have been crazy. Like people right now are saying that these kids are like millennials or this, that, and the third. But those guys back then in the 80s and 90s, early 2000s, you gotta be kidding me, man. Like, that would have been crazy.
Yeah, or I mean, imagine some of the guys like on the Bad Boys, man. On the Bad Boy Pistons.
Come on now.
Think about it. You talk
Fab
about
Five.
Yeah, I mean the Fab Five, man. Jalen Rose. I think he could have. I mean, John Sally, Bill Laimbeer, Isaiah Thomas, Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
And Charles Barkley, man. Can you imagine Barkley?
Because Barkley now is already breaking the internet, and he doesn't even have any type of social media account. So come on, guys.
Well, and the thing is, and this is, even before social media, I mean, Barkley hasn't played in 17 years, and he's still making headlines
every single day.
Every day. Oh, I just saw another one, Mike Tyson, man.
Oh man, really good point. Really good point. So come on, guys. Like people talk about Floyd Mayweather, but Mike Tyson, he was a fool. So
yeah. I mean, I know Floyd, he's had his issues, but you know. But yeah, if you can imagine just some of the, I mean, because think about some of the stuff Tyson said in front of cameras, man. Imagine if he actually had a Twitter.
Mike Tyson was saying, I'll like eat his family,
I'll eat your kids. Eat your kids.
So come on, man. Come on.
Biting people's ears.
Yeah, and then spitting it out. So yeah. So if these guys made noise to like newspapers, mainstream media, you can only imagine if there was like no middleman and they could just press a button. Yeah. So come on.
Well, I mean, everyone's not like Reggie Miller, who on the court he'll
kill you,
off the court. Off the court, like
guy.
He really does seem like that. Like off the court, it's like how and like the fact
Two-Face, man.
Yeah, but they said he was like one of the biggest trash talkers in NBA history.
He was, man.
But like, if you look at him now as an analyst, it's just
laughing all the time, hugging people, kissing people on the cheeks, like it's crazy, man. And Reggie, he was so crazy that he actually made MJ punch him. So that shows you. So that shows you like he was really good at talking trash. So yeah.
Yeah, but then I was about to say I guess you could say the same about MJ, but I think MJ was kind of known like just what kind of competitor he was.
Yeah, like. MJ had that like LeBron / Kobe pass since he was like the greatest player in the league, so he could just be himself.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah.